Good morning. I want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, October 29, 2013. Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Anything under open forum?
No, sir.
All right, go ahead on the consent agenda.
We just have the check register, no concerns.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Number 4.
Number 4, approval of interlocal cooperative agreement between Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and the County of Hidalgo as it relates to a tract of land situated in the city of Mission. I'll let Marty explain.
This is a pending transaction that we have on a sale of some property. It used to be the old precinct offices. When the title search was being done by the title company, there is a small sliver of land that is owned by the drainage district. We need to purchase that sliver of land in order to clear title and close the transaction. So that's what this is for.
So we'll be getting a check from y'all this time.
Move for approval.
And then we'll be getting a check from the buyer.
Well, you say sliver, what are you talking about?
An acre, half an acre, how big is
Oh,
the
it's
tract?
0.14 of an acre,
Less than a quarter of an acre.
right.
Who's paying for this?
No, we're
The
gonna be
county is
paying
selling
them.
it, so the county will be paying us for that sliver of
Correct.
land.
Then the county will receive proceeds from the buyer that we've already accepted and approved the sale of for Precinct 3's property. So we need to clear that title for the county in order to.
What are we going to
convey.
be paying for it?
About $22,000
$22,000 for a little sliver?
for that sliver,
Sliver.
point,
It's an expensive sliver.
sliver
Very
of land.
expensive land, sir.
Is that downtown McAllen?
That little strip. It's the old precinct offices down on 14th Street, is it 14th?
In Mission.
In Mission, the old Precinct 3 offices
And
and,
the appraised value is what?
I'd have to look it up, just a moment. It's in the backup of the,
We didn't handle it, commissioners, it was handled by.
right, but they need to enter into the.
The appraisal
The
supports it?
corresponding issue is on Commissioner's Court.
I may
can
be
give
able
you
to
the
answer that.
Yes.
When we sold the property, went out for bid to sell the whole tract from the
For
county to the buyer, there was an appraisal done by Leonel Garza. And when this sliver came up, we had to take this sliver back to Leonel to have him figure out what percentage the drainage district owned versus what percentage the county owned. He
Right.
used the same values and just then reallocated
The amount's
entire
not gonna
purchase
change.
price to what the sliver of
We've-
the county owned, the drainage district owned.
I know
We've
you-
accepted a bid for about
My question
183,000.
is a simple one, is what is the appraised value for that property?
22,
No,
22.
you're talking about the entire property, or just the?
Oh, $183,000 for the whole sale. It's $182,000 and change. For what we are selling, Precinct 3 is selling to Dr. Sonia Trevino. Of that 180-something thousand, the appraised value of that portion that belongs to the drainage district is $20-some thousand.
Need to entertain a motion to approve?
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Palacios. Item 5, discussion and direction on the request for release of floodway and levee easement as it relates to a 10.04 acre tract out of Lot 13-9 West Addition of Cherryland subdivision within the Mission Inlet. We've been petitioned by a landowner to release a tract of land which is part of the overall Mission Inlet project that this board is engaged in recertifying and releasing. This particular tract of land is not going to be impacted or is even impacted today by the hydraulic analysis showing of the floodway. So we have no objection for the board to consider the release of these easements based on appraised value. At this point here, we're requesting authorization to move forward in that direction. The owners of the land are here. I believe this is a substation that AEP wants to build as part of their overall loop system. So we have no objection if the board has any on it.
Do you foresee any kind of a need now or in the future?
For that piece, no, sir. All we have is a floodway easement on it and a levee easement, and that's been the objective of the Mission Inlet, is to reduce the whole floodway system to what is really needed, not the half-mile width or the three-quarter-mile width for the floodway. And this is at the tail end of the Mission Inlet.
What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is to proceed forward for the release of the easement based on appraised value of that easement.
What would be the next step
Sir?
to get the appraisal?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 6, approval of amendment number 1 to the interlocal cooperative agreement between Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and Hidalgo County as it relates to a lease of real property, which is Precinct 4. We are leasing the property to Precinct 4 on the building that we bought while they're doing their transition. We're amending that easement, I believe, for another 6 months, Commissioner? So the precinct can still operate while they're redoing their new building. I think it's $100 a month or something like that.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, approval of amendment to interlocal cooperative agreement between Hidalgo County Drainage District and Hidalgo County as it relates to safety services. We've been talking to Balde and Roy Quintero on the safety program that the county has. We're expanding our interlocal to use your safety program and your staff to assist the drainage district. That way everybody's on the same level of safety. Steve Addison called, prepared the interlocal. We met with Balde. We've worked out the details on it. So we're bringing it to the boards for the board's consideration.
Move for approval.
Second.
And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, requesting approval to purchase following from Dell through the district's membership with the state of Texas DRR agreement number SDD 1951, which is 1 PowerEdge R720 GIS server with tech support, 1 hard drive for administration server, 1 22-inch monitor. This is basically for updating the system we have there. I think they're like 5 or 6 years old already, and they're just not keeping up with the new software versions that are out there.
Move for approval.
Second.
Then 1 and 2.
1, 2, and 3.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval to purchase GIS software from GDW Government GSA Schedule 35F0195J, and this is the update of the GIS software.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under 2013 Bond Series, item C, requesting approval of work authorization number 2 with Quintanilla Hadley and Associates in the amount of $32,844.86 as it relates to the engineering design for the Precinct 4 North Seminary drainage improvements. This is one of the bond projects on draining the area north of Edinburgh Lake, Commissioner.
Move for approval.
Second.
And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, requesting approval of work authorization number 3 with Quintanilla Hadley and Associates in the amount of $4,570 as it relates to the geotechnical services for Precinct 4 North Seminary drainage improvements. This is the geotech report of the borings, find out what the water table is and so forth for Quintanilla's design of the project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8, approval of invoice number 1 for SJW Construction that relates to the mile 17.5 road project in the amount of $165,674.30. PO number 623156. ICA approved March 5th, 2013 between Hidalgo County Drainage Number 1, McAllen, and Edinburgh School District. This is a joint partnership in the development of the 17.5. So basically, we're the custodian of the project, and we pay the bill and they reimburse us.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We have no item in closed session unless the board wishes to entertain one.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
What about that matter with that engineering firm?
Basically, the direction we've gotten from the board until all 5 members were here, y'all did not want to proceed on unless y'all want to change that direction, sir.
All right. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Going to be in recess for about 10 minutes. All right, good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to this regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, October the 29th, 2013. Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for all the gifts that you give us. Make us beware that you are the one that gives us all these things, whether it's family or country or whatever. We ask you to always have patience with us when we forget to say thank you. Please bring wisdom to all the people here who are making decisions that impacts all of our lives. We all may think we have the answers to everything, but without your guidance, it may not be the best answers. We ask you to bless our country, bless our families, bless our world, help us to have peace. Bless all those who fight to keep us free. And we ask all of this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
All right, our consent agenda, any concerns?
Judge, I would like to ask, are you going to do that, Valter, or you want me to do it? I would like to ask that consent agenda item 2N as in Nancy.
I'm sorry, what number?
2N as in Nancy,
Okay,
and 3A as in Apple.
Move
Be
for
Move for
approval.
approval, excluding 2N and 3A.
Second.
those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Go ahead, sir.
Okay,
Judge, on item 2N, we'll be requesting no action. Believe there's
2N,
still
no action.
clarification on the use of the Justice Technology Fund for this purpose.
Based on what, sir?
There's still questions on the use of the Justice Court Technology Fund for the use of the telephone and for time clock purchasing.
All right.
On item 3A, we're requesting approval of the interdepartmental transfer for the purchase of 2 roll-off trucks for Precinct 1 Sanitation Department.
and the concern that we had, Judge, was that we have not been able to verify the pricing for those 2 items. So we were recommending to wait until next week until we're able
You
to
can't
verify.
approve it
Did you
subject
take care
to,
of that, Marty?
Okay, this is what's going on. We got on the phone yesterday with a conference call with 2 members of the Auditor's Department and ourselves. We're members of the Joint Purchasing Alliance, National Joint Purchasing Alliance. The quote that we receive is partially viewable on their web because the cooperative makes a disclaimer. They tell us that they do not disclose on the web the awarded pricing of the large components to this equipment because of competitors and as well as the general public. This is for the benefit of those members. What they tell you is that you can request the quote, upon request. We got that. There are components within the proposal that will be verifiable on the screen, but they tell you they also have confirmed that they not only the awarded vendor has gone through a process and is awarded, but what is represented on your quote that you received, which was printed off their web but sent to us as opposed to viewing it, is indeed the pricing that's awarded. We've done at least three other purchases this way with that type of verification, and there hasn't been any objection. Mr.
Everything's
Ofracio
in order.
won't.
so you're saying you got a quote, you got a proposal, the
In
price
my
will not
opinion,
change?
this is representative of what is actually on the web, but they tell you from the get-go, they helped the auditor's staff navigate through but they tell you they will not you cannot view the pricing. You will get a copy of that, which is what we have as our backup.
Okay.
And I recommend that we continue with my item that's under purchasing,
Move for
including
approval.
this one.
Judge,
Second.
here's the bottom line. I need to verify the costs, and if I cannot verify it, I won't be able to pay the invoice.
And Mr. Auditor, I just have a question.
Sir?
I just had a question for the auditor. This is a valid co-op, correct?
It is a valid co-op, however, not everything is listed on, we're not able to verify it. That's the main issue.
But
We cannot verify.
is there statutory authority for you to go behind the co-op and verify their prices?
I'm sorry?
Is there statutory authority for you to go behind the co-op and verify their prices?
No, the authority that I have is to review and audit every invoice.
But you have to have a statutory authority to be able to do that.
I do have that. I'm saying that the statute says that I have before Commissioner's Court approves any invoice, I have to audit and approve it. So
That's correct.
in order for
That's
me to
correct.
approve,
My only point is, if it's a valid co-op, the co-op price is a valid price.
I need to
They're-
verify it.
but
That's the
they're
main issue. I
confirming-
need to verify it, and I cannot.
The co-op is telling us that that is representative of the awarded pricing. And they give you a printout. We have that.
Is it as simple as saying if it's a valid co-op, that whatever price they come back with is valid, so to speak?
Well, they're telling you to begin with, and there are portions of that proposal that are viewable. So you can spot check it to see if they indeed are telling you what is factual. So, you know, I'm getting an additional request from the National Joint Purchasing Alliance to tell us that the proposed paperwork indeed represents their awarded pricing. I don't know what else I can do. But they've told you from the get-go that it is not going to be viewable. So they're not springing this on us.
And you're
We've
saying we've done
purchased
this
from them
process-
before,
We've done it before.
And we've done business with them, you know.
and we've
but-
done this before, and it's,
Recently, not
to
too
my
long
knowledge,
ago.
it's been paid.
All right.
Well,
If there
move
are
for
no
approval.
other questions, we have a motion and a second to approve payment.
By the way, it's a 23% discount and an additional 10% by the local vendor.
Judge, I think that the 3A is a transfer of the funding.
Well, yes, but
And
it's related.
Yeah.
I know, hold on, let me explain to the judge, because Judge's talking about approving the purchase, but the item under discussion is the transferring of the funding, which is tied to the purchase of the item.
Exactly.
So-
And I just said that.
So you can approve if you want to, but like I said, the issue is the verification of the prices, Judge.
What would it take to verify?
Well, we just need to get with purchasing and we need to get with purchasing and the co-op vendor.
Okay,
to
well,
verify.
when you get it, you can verify it, but for right now, we're gonna
Subject to,
Okay.
pass, yeah.
Yeah, and she's saying she's already has it.
Yeah.
Just communicating a little better, that's
Yeah.
all.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
All right, under open forum, first presenter, Fern McClarty.
Good morning, and I saw in the paper the other day, it says, Road to Nowhere. Actually, I'm looking at the RMA. I believe they've been in existence for about 6 years. They spent $30 million or so, and there's not 1 inch of road anywhere. Then we see the MPO. We're not sure exactly what they do, but they're wanting to take under their wing the rail district that, as far as we can tell throughout the country, always loses money. We don't quite understand what's going on there, why you're not checking into these things and checking on the taxpayers' money. And my other thing that I had today is the holidays. This is 7J. I signed up also in case you have a question for me. One of the common complaints we hear about local government is that the county closes too often. To build public confidence by opening for business more days each year might be a good start. I just read somewhere taking less holidays off gives incentive for staff to take off by using accrued hours of vacation, holidays, or comp time, thereby reducing the future liability to the taxpayers. It also stated it would serve the public if the county was open for more days to better serve the people of the county. It is inconvenient for the public to come to the county to try to pay their taxes, renew their license plates, and it also shuts the courts down. Some of those cases on the court docket need to be tried in a convenient manner. So with the county's $21 million or so in the hole, or whatever you want to call it, maybe doing more business for the taxpayers at the time that is convenient for them might build confidence in the county. So again, I'm asking that you don't take so many of these holidays. The public does not get even half of what the county takes. So in these hard times, think about all the voters that are being burdened at the end of the year to try to pay their taxes. And I did look up, last year we had 12, this year y'all are looking at 13. I looked up Bexar County, they have 9. I don't know where McClellan is, they have 9. Galveston has 9. Travis has 10. Harris County has 10. Tarrant County has 10. Jefferson County, which is by Beaumont in that area, 10. Eckerd, where I'm from, Odessa, has 10. Rusk has 10. The majority of the ones I looked at were running around 10 holidays. Williamson has 10. Cameron County has 11. Webb County has 11. And a gorgeous place that's got a gorgeous courthouse is Cornell, Cornell, Coryyell. They have 11. So my thing is, why don't you think about the taxpayers and do the right thing? Thank you.
Next presenter is Virginia Townsend.
I said I was going to come every week and just ask simple question, are we saving money? Are we saving money? I just want everybody to be on the same page and realize we need to save money this time. I don't get over-talked by people who say we need. I think we've got everything pretty well, especially with people hired in this county enough. I was very glad to see the Drainage District is using the safety division that we have in the county for the Drainage District. That shows saving money. I would love to see more of that, where we combine things that need to get done. I'm just going to emphasize and emphasize so nobody forgets. We've got to save money. Thanks.
Next presenter is Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. I am an American. I am here under my First Amendment rights to free speech and the right to petition my government for a redress of grievances. I was born in Hidalgo County. In Hidalgo County, I was sued for divorce. As a result, I have been held in police-enforced false imprisonment, a crime, for 17 years. My confinement is all about our community property. There is no final divorce. The court awarded no division of our community property. When Joe died, the court refused to dismiss the case and release our community property back to the rightful owners, which the law requires. When Joe died, our deeds passed Joe's community property to his 3 heirs and my community property to me, automatically, immediately, without any court intervention or supervision. This issue is all about the takeover for free of about 80 acres of land with capital improvements by substituting a non-existent $650,000 and a vacuous corporation. Nobody but Joe and me jointly, both of us, has the legal authority to use our debt-free community property as collateral to borrow money. Our community property is not collateral for any loans Bank of America may have extended. Bank of America has no position in the division of our community property. On this land that is still the community property of Joe and me, a strip mall has been built in total disregard of my many protests. In the state of Texas, build on land which you do not own, and you can remove your property, but if it remains, it belongs to the landowner. That's Texas law. If the buildings remain on the land which we own, I claim them as the property of the estate of Joe Billman and me because they are on our land. The 275th District Court in Hidalgo County no longer has any jurisdiction concerning our community property or me. The court's only participation has been to prevent me from involvement in my community property by 17 years of unlawful confinement. False imprisonment is a crime because I have been tricked twice into believing the case was dismissed, which resulted in my being arrested and put through 2 trials. I want a document from the 275th District Court in Hidalgo County that I am free from arrest that are claiming I'm trespassing on land that I own in valid deeds. I am an American.
About
I
30
want
seconds,
my
ma'am.
freedom, I want my liberty, and I want it now, and thank you very much for your 5 minutes.
All right, item number 6, County Judge's Office.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Under item number 6, it's a status report and/or applicable action on solicitation of a request for proposals, project titled RFP Self-Insured Healthcare Claims Auditing Services for Hidalgo County Group Health Insurance Program, including but not limited to the following. Judge Commissioners, this is a direct result of a discussion that you all entertained, Judge, regarding our health insurance claims and the need to examine those health insurance claims from the standpoint of whether payment was made in accordance with all of the regulations and the payment schedules that we have. The Judge, you requested together with the Commissioners Court that we entertain an RFP for the solicitation of a company that would audit those claims, and Ms. Marty Salazar is here with the Purchasing Department to talk to you all about that.
I know during the budget process, several commissioners voiced a concern that we needed to have an auditor hired to look at our claims, our health care claims. That I went ahead and I put it on the agenda so we can start acting on it.
Correct. And what you have on the agenda today, we had sought similar RFPs. We had found one. We had had Mr. Looney review it. He had made very slight changes. We recommended a couple of changes. One of them primarily was the one we had looked at originally was for a city. It was a sizable city, but it was a very short term. It was 180 days. So this RFP that I'm asking you to approve the packet for is going to be a 1 year with an option to renew for 1 year because we're asking for 3 full years of audit claims.
And they need that long?
Well, I don't think that 3 years can be fully done in 180 days. We are going to specify that if it can be done sooner, but it gives us not to be at the 188-day mark and we haven't collected enough or we haven't been able to recover enough.
Is their fee going to be based on
It's based on a
contingency?
negotiated contingency fee. That is how 99% of them are done.
How much, what's the percentage?
I don't know yet. We are going to be negotiating that.
Okay.
Secondly, we're ready to advertise. That's why you have the item on for acceptance and approval of the RFP for the self-insured care claims auditing services. The packet has the scope of work, the requirements, the credentials, the qualifications, and the criteria, with authority to publish advertisement of same. And I'm recommending we advertise this month of November, and it'll be 2 advertisements that will include the drainage district, but we only still need 2 because they have an interlocal to piggyback on our work. So we don't have to do the statutory 3 for drainage district. And I would be asking for advertising of 2 weeks with acceptance date of the RFP on November the 27th.
You're going to advertise where?
In the local paper.
I didn't.
And it's going to be on our website.
On what papers?
It's a Monitor. That's the
But
one
don't we
paper.
want somebody,
Well, it's gonna be on
last time we
our-
had somebody in Corpus and
But
there's
we
somebody in
already,
Austin.
yes, and we're getting those packet, those potential consultants from other counties,
Oh,
other
and
cities.
you're gonna send them packets?
We're going to send them packets.
All right.
Okay? We also are going to be, that's what, I already gave you that. We changed it to a year as opposed to 180 days. So the item 6A1, I need action on.
Judge,
Yes.
I attended a conference where it was a presentation made by one of those individuals that does audits. I could provide that contact
Yeah,
information
please.
to Marty.
It would be
Marty
much,
so we can,
much appreciated, yes. Thank you.
Need a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It's to 6A1.
The second component is, how are you going to want this, how are you, as a court, want this to be evaluated? Are you going to want it with just a 5-member team, one from each member of the court? Or do you want our group health insurance consultant to be asked if he will do it? Or 3 others as may be determined by you? I mean, it doesn't have to be 5, it could be 7. It's up to you.
I mean, we're going to be hiring an accountant, not an insurance person.
You're going to be hiring a firm that does this. I'm sure they have accountants on board, but I don't know what you...
I don't know if we need to pay a consultant, that's my point.
True, that's why I put options out there. But we may need to
I would
consult with
think that
him on...
each member of the court can name a member to the committee and
Okay.
have 5.
Okay?
Unless the court or any member feels that we need to hire a consultant, but we're not going to be looking at insurance policies. We're going to be hiring an auditor, basically.
I think that the person that I was referring to a while ago she used to be a nurse. So she knows
And you need
about all the
someone with the
codes and-
expertise of codes and what those codes against those contracts
Right.
between hospitals. That's what they're going to be looking at, compliance with those awarded contracts. So they need to know how to navigate the medical... Oh, go right ahead.
Judge, I don't think we want to hire an accountant. The items that are in error usually are not mathematical. Usually it's whether the services were ordered and the invoices reflect that, whether the services were correct, whether the services that were ordered were provided. Those are the kind of things that this audit will resolve, whether we're paying correctly. The mathematical, that's very minor.
That's a very small...
Very minor percentage. We do need experts or people knowledgeable in the healthcare business.
Were they coded incorrectly? If they were coded incorrectly, were
Right.
they paid incorrectly?
A billing person.
Exactly.
Yeah, generally, we've had people, a couple of companies that called our office with interest, and those are people that were involved in the insurance industry or in the healthcare industry.
Correct.
All right.
So, Judge, are you going to select someone?
Under 6A2?
Mm-hmm.
Any
We're going to go
questions?
under A, correct?
Well, depending on the court.
You want to name somebody, or what do you think?
Well, I want to make sure that someone from the county, at least
it's
Valdeguera,
involved, yeah.
be involved along with whoever we select
Sure.
to be part of this committee.
But
Okay, so
we
you're-
have 5, one
Yeah.
for each, or whatever?
No, we can do more than 5. I just...
Yeah.
Judge, Commissioners, I would recommend that Ms. Flora Vasquez from Employee Benefits be part of this, and Mr. Eddie Olivares as well.
Okay, so
Since-
there's 3
I
there.
would recommend that those 2 individuals be part of this committee.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. Can I have a motion to that effect?
Will that just be
Will
3
that
though?
be it,
Will
or
it be
do we?
Mr.
Yeah, that'll be
Want
5
additional?
plus Eddie.
You want to put roles?
Okay, but who are the 5?
Raul Lozano and my part.
Okay?
Chilguero, precinct
Okay.
2.
Yolanda Chapa, on my part.
All right. Commissioner?
I'll do Marcos Lopez, but to add those 3 other
Yes,
individuals
I already
as
added
well.
those
Okay.
3 members. And I will contact Commissioner Palacios. I mean, yes,
Flores.
Flores. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Marty, for the record, can you name the people you have written down?
Yes, it'll be, for members of the court, the judge will be Yolanda Chapa. Precinct 1 is going to be Mr. Lozano. Precinct 2, Mr. Silguero. Precinct 4 is Marcos Lopez. We have the addition of Valdeguerra, Flora Vasquez, and Eddie Olivares. That's only going to be pending the nominee and the designee from Precinct 3, Commissioner Flores, which I will get. Is that correct?
All right, that's correct.
So we could have action on 2A.
So move with those
Actually, Marty,
names.
it'll be 2A and 2C, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
A and C.
Right.
And
Others,
2C, yes.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you,
So
Mark.
just 2A was the only one that's approved?
I've been requested
2A
to
and
take no
2C.
action on
A, B, and C.
6B, so we're going to pass on it.
We're going to pass on B.
Thank you,
So B
Judge.
and
Thank
C,
you,
no
Commissioner.
action?
There's 6E.
6C, Michael Lear for the County Judge's Office for Bobby Villarreal Economic Development. 6C, discussion regarding potential partnership between the Hidalgo County Commuter Rail District and the Hidalgo County Metropolitan Planning Organization. For the record, we have Linda de la Fuente from the MPO, as well as Ken Jones from the COG. As you may recall, a couple weeks ago, we had an item before this court, on the future of the Commuter Rail District. One of the items that was discussed was Andrew Cannon came up here and talked about providing support services, transitioning those services from the county to the MPO. We felt it a good fit given their expertise in transportation. The commuter rail is kind of at the point where they're looking for funding, looking for grants, and this seems to be more in line with what the MPO is able to provide. This is just strictly for support services. This doesn't change anything else as far as the commuter rail board itself. The commuter rail board stays the same and still appointed by this court. All it does is transfer some of those support services to the MPO rather than it being on the county. We have, again, Ken Jones, if you have any questions, but at this point, this is just kind of a discussion item, and we want to get some feedback from the court if this is a direction that the court would like to go. The Commuter Rail District Board has indicated this is where they want to go. The MPO has done as well, so.
So the effect is going to be that whatever support services were being provided by the county are now going to be provided by your organization?
That's my understanding, Judge. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Ken.
This would give the opportunity for the county to direct the current staff resources that's dedicated towards support for the rail authority to other pressing issues of the county. And I believe, I understand the MPO Policy Committee has already discussed that potential opportunity. And, if it was supported by the Commissioners Court and it was consensus to accept and absorb that administrative support for the rail authority, if it's the desire of the county.
Has the board been notified?
The Commuter Rail Board? The Commuter Rail Board had an item on this same item discussion to give their intent. Their intent was made clear to the staff that this is the direction that they wanted to go. It was the complete board minus Mr. Frank Traver, who was also a member, a duly appointed member, and he abstained from that. But the Commuter Rail District Board, this is the direction that they want to go.
The board itself?
Yes, the Commuter Rail District Board, yes.
And it would still be necessary to do an interlocal agreement of some type between the MPO and the Rail Authority Board. So there would still need to be some action taken, at the next opportune time that articulates all the responsibilities on that as well.
The bottom line is the committee going to function as a committee on their own, or is MPO taking it over?
Commissioner, it would function the same as it currently is, or the Rail Authority Board would still have the same autonomy, same decision-making requirements as outlined in the legislation as they do now. The only change would be the staff support on scheduling meetings, taking minutes, being the depository for files. Those kinds of activities would be at the MPO, and it would assume that particular responsibility. That would essentially be the only change.
Thank you.
Again, there's no action on this item, but if there's any other questions, that'll be all for us.
I'm sorry.
There's no action. This is not an action item, but we're just saying that's our presentation, but if there's any other questions from the board, then that's all on our part.
Thank you.
Well, we still retain liability for those federal funds that were given to us. Is that correct?
But my understanding, there's no change other than support from the RMA.
Or the MPO.
Or the
The MPO, okay.
Right.
All right, well, good luck.
The liability question, I defer to the legal counsel.
That doesn't change.
That would remain the same, I would say. Yeah.
Oh, we have Mr. Travers.
Mr. Traver.
Do you want to say make any comments, sir?
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. I would like to. There's been a lot of discussion, and I hear from other people that a lot of false information is being given. I think that's true. However, there's also been articles in the newspaper talking about disruption of the board. I abstained from the vote, as was mentioned, and I thank you for it. I did not speak openly against it. Within the commuter rail district, I have been a silent representative cautioning the financial tremendous difficulty and almost suicide, which that could result in, which has been illustrated all over the country with never a rail board that's ever been able to make ends meet out of the fares collected. This has been debated and told that I'm wrong, but the person that's doing that has absolutely no evidence and proof. I have the videotapes of what he has claimed. I have the documents he said he's claimed them from, and they are not true. Now, I showed this information to one of your staff, Judge. He saw the proof, and I asked him later if he had made you aware of this, and he told me that he had. It is generally known that the path which they are on cannot be financially feasible. It's demonstrated all over the country, and very credible people, urban planners all over the country, realize this and often start their discussions that rails just financially cannot make it. Now, as far as the MPO taking it over, and Virginia talks frequently about saving money. While they have no budget, no funds, and aren't spending any money, I'm somewhat disheartened when I look at the rail board meetings and see people sitting along the side who are compensated by the county, and through interlocal agreements and their interests there are spending time. I don't understand why the MPO can't do their 25-year long-range planning without the rail board. The rail board isn't doing anything. All they're doing is looking for more funding, and they have no concern or no identification as specifically what that funding should be for. It's a folly to proceed with it. They are accomplishing nothing. And in terms of economics and saving the staff time which supports them, I sincerely wish it could be put on the shelf and let MPO go on with their 25-year plan without them. Thank you, Judge.
Any other comments? If not, we'll move on to the next item.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Item number 7, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. There's no action under item 7A, 1 and 2, unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. Item B, I'm going to ask Mr. Alex Palacios to come to the podium.
What about C? I thought the lawyers were here.
Oh, you know what, Mr. Palacios, if you'll indulge me just a couple minutes. Yes, let me go to item C. Discussion and possible action on redemption under Texas Tax Code 34.21 of the property struck off to Hidalgo County trustee in cause number T-1569-10A. I have Ms. Thelma Mandu.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Thelma Bandu. I'm a partner with Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott, who, in association with the law office of John David Frowns, collect delinquent property taxes for Hidalgo County. The property before the court was struck off at the September 2013 tax sale. We were notified by counsel for the people who lost the property, Mr. and Mrs. Ochoa, that they wanted to exercise their statutory right to redeem the property. And they are within the time period. They have an absolute right to redeem the property so long as they tender payment. The attorney, we explained to the attorney that we needed to come before Commissioner's Court to apprise you of this action, and to, they have an absolute right to do it, to do the redemption. It'll be very similar to what we did last April.
They got to pay a little more.
Yes, they're going to pay, what they're going to do is they're going to pay all the taxes that were due under the judgment, plus the 2012 and 13 taxes, plus all the costs that have accrued.
And that's their right under the statute. So
That's correct, under Chapter 34 of the tax code.
need action from us to authorize that it occur?
If you want to do an action item, but they do have an absolute right. It's just that the property was struck off to the county, so you get to sign the deed.
Okay, we would need a motion to authorize our attorneys to go ahead and proceed to act on the redemption as required by Tax Code 34.21 and allow the redemption of the property.
That's correct. We will not release the property to, the deed to the taxpayer until the monies have been paid.
Right. Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Judge, Commissioners, if I may, going back to item B1, renovations to former administration building, first and second floors. I have Mr. Palacios from Prodigy. He'll give the court an update and a status on the work that's being done at our former, or the old administration building.
Good morning, Judge, County Commissioners, Mr. Guerra, Mr. Fracio. As we prepare for the short presentation that you were given a handout for your review, and just a few minutes so we can. Thank you. Okay. You have a handout that we Prodigy Construction Management. As you can see, the Prodigy is a construction management. D. Wilson is a construction contractor, and Alcocer Associates as your design architect. As we go through the next slide, this is a floor plan of the first floor, and the green illustrates the completion of the demolition between 60 to 80% respectively. Some areas have been more aggressively addressed on the demolition versus the others, and the others would be, for example, the two safes that we have in there of solid concrete and steel. The next slide. Any questions on that slide?
Where is north here, sir?
The north would be
here to the right, no?
the front entrance. The front entrance would be towards the south. Okay.
To the right is the north, yeah.
Hang on, I need my glasses.
The big part.
Right.
This is north side.
North would be the.
If you're looking,
bottom
if you're looking at the view, the front entrance, that would be the south side. The top of the screen would be the east side, and at the very bottom would be the west, and to your right would be the north.
Alex, are you on the green apple looking, the green page? Yes.
Yes, sir.
The first one.
I do apologize. I'm looking at the first floor, first page.
On the right-hand side of that picture, of that sketch is north.
Right.
This side?
Right. If you're looking at the picture, where the stairway is, right there where the mouse is, that's the
That's the
south.
left-hand side.
That's the left-hand side.
My left.
That's your other left, right?
My left, your right. Okay. And then on the opposite side would be the north. The top of the page would be east, and the bottom of the page would be west.
Yeah, este sí.
I do apologize. I will make that correction in the future. The next slide, which is the second floor, is also had been addressed demolition between 60 and 80%. The following sheet illustrates a preliminary floor plan of many meetings that have taken place between our office, the design architect, and several individuals from the county to develop and create the floor plan that you see before you. Prior to that, the courtroom, the commissioner's courtroom took some changes and modifications to accommodate, to actually to incorporate this floor plan with the district attorney's office. And of course, believe it or not, they have agreed to for us to take some of that real estate that they have to present what you have before you. Mr. Guerra's office, the staff, maintenance, operations, IT, many departments have been involved, including Karina from the Public Affairs Office. If you recall, a year or two ago when this project launched with the architect in place, there wasn't a Public Affairs Office. And now we've incorporated the PA's office into the
And all the plans are ready for this, I know they added to the Commissioner's Court.
Yes, sir. We are moving forward with the plans, Commissioner Cuellar. This is the preliminary approval, as you can see, approved by the Office of the Executive Director. And so the architect should be developing and putting out these drawings as soon as possible, so the contractor could reprice on this.
What does CCMR stand for?
CCMR, that's in the
Commissioner's Court meeting.
Commissioner's Court.
Commissioner's Court
Meeting room. And
Yes,
PA?
sir. Public Affairs.
Now, Mr. Palacios, this is within the building, or this is a building that's going to be separate?
No, it's inside.
It's within
Yes,
the building.
it is, I'm sorry. It is integrated within the existing footprint from prior.
The reason I ask, because there's an agenda item today for payment of an invoice to the architect
Yes?
for this same thing, but as an alternate. So this is not the alternate?
Marty, let Marty address that.
If I may, Mr. Guerra, may I proceed with the presentation, and we can come back question and answer, if I may, if that's okay? If that's okay?
I don't know, it's up to them.
Come.
Go ahead, go ahead.
These are pictures that were taken before the demolition and after. As you can see on the before pictures, the picture on the before was the cooperation with the county of taking all of the relevant property that they had first choice, from televisions to outlets to lighting, everything that the county recovered, which was a great thing. Most owners just leave it for the contractor to take. But this case, a lot of the materials was taken, a good working condition, and you can see the after pictures. This is another view from the entrance of the building of what was before and what it is today after. As you all recall, the main entrance there, the foyer. Next slide, please. The escalator, that one has been very challenging, but it's coming apart piece by piece. As you can see, it's all solid steel, and we should be completing it this week. Next slide, please. Second floor demolition. Next slide, please. And the escalators right outside in the main atrium area. All of the windows have been removed. The glass has been taken out, and there's trenching to be. There's already some trenching there for the plumbing. Keep in mind that during the demolition, commissioners, there was several problems that were experienced, for example, of sanitary sewer smells. Well, we identified those areas because when we started demoing, we actually found the source of the problematic issues because the pipes above the ceiling were actually cracked in minuscule areas, but there were large enough cracks to fumigate the whole area with sanitary sewer smell.
I understand there used to be a sewer line right in that area where the foyer was.
That's correct.
Did we move it out of the way, or did?
Yes, sir. Most of the plumbing above the ceiling is demolished because it's cracked. There was a lot of hairline cracks that was almost very difficult. It was dark in the space and very difficult for any maintenance personnel to identify it because it was black to begin with, and when it's dark, you couldn't identify it. It was very difficult to identify. But we were able to see.
Are they going to be rerouted?
Oh, yes.
The plumbing?
We're going to replace it, Commissioner.
Replace and reroute?
Reroute and replace.
Plus, you're going to eliminate the problem.
Pardon?
You're going to eliminate the problem of the...
Absolutely. By replacing and rerouting, Commissioner, we are bringing everything up to current code.
Could be a change order, Marty, to do that, or?
Okay. I'm sorry, there was a question on the floor.
That's part of the specs.
Yes, it was.
To begin with. It's part of the base bid.
I'm sorry?
For the replacement?
A replacement of the pipes, you said that they identified some
To the new
cracked
commissioner's
pipes.
court? Yeah, that will, if it wasn't already addressed in the base bid for the changing of the pipes, like you said,
Right.
it would be part of a change order.
Right.
But right now, they're going to incorporate as much on the base bid as possible.
Oh, see?
That needed to be done whether it was a judicial court or commissioner's court. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
In the next item, yes, go ahead, next. And finally, as you can see, the parking lot area, the contractor utilized that to remove everything from within the building for demolition. And we're still going at it as far as removing metal ductwork, structural steel, miscellaneous materials that were in there. Certain items have arisen, but we've been able to quash those items without addressing it through a change order. However, it has been very challenging because this particular building, we have no red marks or original documents to use as a go-by. But so far, we've been very successful, and the contractor is well in completing some of these obstacles. To date, just on the financial part, the contractor has not submitted a request for payment. We do have one for review, but it is what it is, a generic review. It will be out probably within a week or so. The contractor has not drawn any money. Balance to finish, everything has been intact. All of the allowances are in order. There has been no additional days added to this project, and as far as we can see, we're moving ahead of schedule on demolition. Finances are in place, and we have no additional days added to this contract. So that's good news. Are there any questions?
For my information, what is the completion date?
The substantial completion date is scheduled for roughly October the 2014, with a final completion date of November the 2014, or sooner. We were expected to finish demolition at the end of next month, but the contractor has been moving progressively, and demolition is scheduled to be a little earlier than later if nothing arises, anything major.
So the 60 to 80% done, and you're referring to just demolition?
Demolition, Commissioner.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you go back to that sketch of the offices? Are you through with your presentation?
Yes, sir.
All right. Go back to that one right there. Where is the point? I'm confused. I'm sorry.
That one.
Right there. Point where north is.
Thank you.
Right here.
The left, okay.
Yeah.
How are the commissioners going to be getting into their offices or into the courtroom?
On the east side, Judge, and that's, if you recall, that's generally the orientation that we have right now on the east side where the elevators are.
Yes.
It'll be that same area, so they'll access through that area. Yes,
It'll be across from the elevators where it says receptionist lobby?
yes. See where it says receptionist lobby? That's where they'll enter.
Can you see the mouse, gentlemen? Commissioners? Can you see the mouse move on your screen? Okay, right there is where the receptionist area. And I'm moving only for clarity for the public to see that that is the receptionist lobby area that enters from this corridor right here, that it's adjacent to the main lobby area right here.
How much bigger is that new courtroom going to be compared to the one that's there now?
Well, during the revisions, Judge, we were able to expand slightly on the square footage without encroaching the district attorney's office. The compromise, if you will, has been, and I really appreciate the district attorney's office by giving up this real estate right here, because this area belonged to the district attorney's office. But in lieu of the Public Affairs Department, we've been able to work and have several consecutive meetings for them to give up this area right here and allow the freedom and the flexibility for the Commissioner's Court to enter either from the main entrance of the vestibule area here for Commissioner's Court and then exit out this entryway, enter or exit into the main reception area and lobby.
Is that twice bigger than the original?
That's my concern, because in the past, we've always been,
Real small.
it's never been adequate space needed. So let me just ask a question. There's not a way to reconfigure this to be able to get more square feet in the Commissioner's Court meeting area?
In this area right here, Commissioner? Executive
No,
chambers?
that's
No.
an executive session.
No, where the seats,
No,
where the public will
Right,
sit.
yeah, that big room there.
Commissioners, Judge, if I may, the only way to accomplish that is the foregoing of the office space for public affairs. Because if that were the case, then the areas where you have those offices, we have reception and PA Office 1 and PA Office 2, if we were to give that up, then yes, theoretically, you could actually move the executive session room, configure it in that area, and that executive session room could be.
That makes more sense, Balde. I mean, we're going to need a larger meeting room because the county is going to be growing, and this is going to have to last about 50 years or more.
Right, then, Judge, with that being said, then we would have to then look at the second floor, the area, there's some additional space that was created on the second floor for your office. Then we'd have to get with Mrs. Chapa to see what we could do about housing the public affairs in that general area.
Sure.
But public affairs for what? I mean, I don't think, well, I know as long as I've been here, I've never had to meet with anybody before walking into a meeting. If I do, you just meet outside or
Right.
walking in or.
No, I'm talking about the housing of public
Housing
affairs,
of the staff,
the staff. Karina.
Well-
Karina and her
Marina?
staff.
Well, the entire
I think,
Public Affairs.
I think you have to look at alternatives, but under this current format, it's not going to serve the need or growing need
Okay.
of a meeting area for Commissioners Court. I think it's very limited in space. I mean, I'm not advocating building another building as it was planned before. I'm just saying reconfigure and figure out what our contingency plans can be so that we can maximize the use of that room.
If I,
Possibly house them on the second floor.
On the second floor?
In the suites of offices for the county judge.
After this.
if I may, Judge and Commissioner Palacios, so are we saying to expand this area, take the executive session chambers, relocate it to this area, and find a new home for the PA Office 1 and PA Office 2? Because eventually, that's what that's what would have to happen to increase the length and the area of the commissioners.
Let me ask you, the purpose of the studio room is,
Equipment so that we can eventually phase into our own recording.
and that amount of space is required?
But not just Commissioners Court, then continue to do other features that are going to be presented through our web or whichever other.
Programming, if you will.
The equipment required, as you can see around you, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes cameras, televisions, monitoring, headphones that have to take place, and
No, and I don't have a problem with that. What I'm just saying, if you were to take this entire area here,
Yes, sir.
figure out how to reconfigure it.
Yes, sir.
And figure out some contingency plans.
I will
for a lot of
advise,
these.
I will meet with the architect, and we will hit the,
How much bigger is this new area compared to what is there today? Square feet wise?
I'd have to get back with you, Judge, on that one, because I would have to do an overlay, only because the Public Affairs Office was introduced, so it might have taken up a little bit of real estate in the Commissioners Court room. I can get you that value, though. I don't have the existing square footage.
Well, then we can bring an option for you
Sure.
next week, well, maybe 1 to 2 weeks.
Yes.
Mr. Palacios, have you had the design schematic meetings already with the owner to make sure that whatever's being designed is what they need? Because it appears to me that I don't think that has taken place.
Well, it's being done by staff that was designated by the court to address it. That's why you have this
Yes.
option today. It's with Mr. Guerra, Karina.
Who is the receptionist going to be working for?
The public affairs.
I thought the public affairs is in the county judge's
They're
office.
existing staff, Judge, that you have
Right.
now, that the county has now. So it was done with, sitting with
County
them,
judge gonna be there?
and Mr. Guerra and his staff, to configure
Public
this.
affairs is-
layout.
Yeah, going back this way
What
and
your
then
point
putting the
is
meeting
that you want to
offices.
utilize every
They could
bit of space
reconfigure
to
it.
make it as big a chamber as you
Chambers.
can.
Right. It's going to have to last us 50-plus years, so.
Okay?
Plus
Is,
relocate.
Is the county judge's
96, you
office
got
in there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Judge.
No.
The county judge's
County
office.
judge's office
It's
there?
the second floor.
Second floor.
Yeah.
Second floor.
County judge's office is on the second floor.
6.
Okay, we will address those issues. I understand the commissioners.
When you start looking at options, bring us more than one.
Yes, sir. I will advise the architect to give us multiple renderings. Yes, sir.
Are you going to reconfigure that area that we've been talking about?
Yes, sir.
That's been
Eliminate
designated.
those offices, find them a new home, and expand the courtroom to its biggest, so it's just the courtroom
Well-
with the executive.
All right, we'll have those, Judge, Commissioners, we'll have those options next week.
Yes, sir.
On the agenda. And prior to next week, by the end of the week, we'll have something that we'll provide to your offices for review, so that you're familiar with the layout.
You know, Alex,
Yes, sir.
you're really not too far. Currently in here, we have 96 chairs. In this plan, you have close to 78. But I still think it's not enough.
It's not,
When we have an active Commissioners Court, we oversee this area, at least, I would say.
And when you're designing the area where the courtroom is. Try not to make it so high that we can't hear.
We
you.
will not
You're
make it
talking.
high, Judge, and we will not make it echo.
No, we gotta be able to
I
hear.
promise you, it will not echo.
Be able to understand.
Right.
That won't be an issue.
We will focus on the acoustics, and we won't make it so high.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so very
Give
much.
us-
Thank you.
Mr. Palacios, if,
Did you still want to address Mr. Ufrazo?
If you
I
could
think
give
we
us,
did.
That
whenever
was
you're,
addressed
when
already,
you
Marty.
come back, if you could give us some options, at least 2 options.
Yes, sir. It's duly noted.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Judge.
I had there's an agenda item.
That it was
in today's-
approved.
In consent agenda.
Mr. Fracio, that's for the original change that was an addition to the building that did not happen.
So it's not the same as this here?
It's not
No.
this.
Okay.
This amendment will be on in a couple of weeks once the design is approved.
Well,
There's
no,
gonna
because
be
there's a
amendment.
payment already making.
It's a payment because we stopped the project, but
Right.
he did do the schematics and the probable cost for it. That's what you're seeing.
So you have those schematics, Marty, on those? Because,
Do we have, to the point that he got? Certainly.
yeah, 'cause he's
That
billing
was
us-
done at the point of the amendment.
Because he's billing us for the schematic design. So
Uh-huh.
the question is, what deliverables do we have for that? Because he's billing us for the entire phase
I
of
will,
that.
I will ask him for it, but he also, your staff had also asked how did they come up with the estimated probable cost, and he has explained it to us in the cover letter that was part of the amendment
Connected
when it
with
was
us,
accepted. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, update on the courthouse portables. I just wanted to let the court know, I spoke to Daniel this morning. The benches, all 12 benches have been installed at the portable, so we have now bench seating. The staff and judges over there are pleased with that aspect or the addition. There is underway planning, and very soon there'll be screening of the rafters. We don't want, as Daniel pointed out to me this morning, he wants to be proactive and not have a nesting, a pigeon issue that we have over at the courthouse with our large trees. And so they'll be screening the rafters, and that will address, in the future, that'll address any pigeons or nesting or lack thereof for them. And there is a minor deck gapping issue that's being addressed. They've made contact with the vendor, very minor. They should have that resolved. So for all practical purposes, the modular building project is completed. And again, the one little minor deck gapping issue is being addressed, and the screening is to prevent any future problems with nesting or roosting of pigeons. I do have an emergency situation occurring since the last agenda meeting. We do have a situation, Daniel, we do have a situation at the Health Department with respect to a sewage line. Daniel will be able to give the court an update. There is a plan that has been devised, and we are going to go forth and resolve the issue, but I want Daniel to explain to the court how this impacts the administration, the staff there, and what we did in the interim while this gets addressed with respect to the sewage lines. Daniel?
I know it's an emergency, but do we need to post it?
No. It's just an emergency situation. I want to brief the court on that because in case there's a hiccup down the road, I just want to make sure the court, and we do put on the record through discussion that we are addressing an issue at the Health Department. Daniel?
Judge, Commissioners, Daniel Flores, Facilities Management. The issue is that we had some backup problems with that building. We tried staking it out. We couldn't do it. We tried getting a contractor. Finally, the city was helpful enough to bring one of their bigger trucks in there, and they actually flushed it out. After we did that, we had a company come in there and put a camera through the system. We found out that the displacement of the clay line right before you get into the main hookup to the sewer line, and it's about a 3-inch difference in drop. So what's happening is that we're getting back up in there. So temporarily right now, the health department is using portable bathrooms that they got from FAR in the city of McAllen. Those are trailer type, and they're really high tech. And they're using those temporarily until we can actually get the contracts. We've already met with some of the vendors, and they're due to give us a quote here any day now. And as soon as we get that, we'll be back to the court to ask permission to proceed, sir.
That's the situation we have there, but there is a temporary remedy with respect to the use of facilities. And as Daniel said, these are not your regular porta potty type facilities. These are theme park, large concert venue area type trailers that house these portables, and they're high tech, as Daniel was saying. It's just not your regular porta potties. So, but that's the issue that we have at the health department. But again, Judge, Commissioners, it is being addressed, and we will have it taken care of very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's move on, Valde.
Okay,
We gotta
Judge
move out of here by 12.
Yes, it's 10:39. Judge Commissioners, item D, I'm asking acceptance of a settlement check from Plain Westlaco Motors, $607.17, and this will resolve one of our issues with an auto accident with one of our county vehicles.
Need a motion to approve.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I also have item E, and I'd also like the court to accept the settlement check from South Texas Communications, Inc. That dollar amount is $387.22, and this is on behalf of HIDA.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F is a settlement check from South Texas Communication, Inc., $426.90.
Move for approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G, we have a request from the Edinburgh Chamber of Commerce to use the county square for the Nights of Light Parade on Saturday, December 7th, 2013, in the evening. I do have I believe I have Ms. Leti Gonzalez in the
Move
audience.
for approval.
There she is.
Everything in order, Valde?
Yes, everything is in order.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item H, we're trying to get ahead of the curve here. We have a request for the use of the courthouse for the 2014 mock trial competition to be held on Saturday, January 18th, and Monday, January 20th of next year in the evening. This is a request.
Check.
Thank you.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item I have Ms. Shan Rankin in the audience. This is requesting permission by the Museum of South Texas History to use the county parking lots near the museum for the use by visitors to the museum for the following events. We have Saturday, Dia de los Muertos, 11/2. On Sunday, December 18th, La Pastorela. Saturday, February 15th of 2014, Pioneer and Ranching Craft Days. Saturday, October 11th of 2014, Fandango. And Saturday, November 1st of 2014, Dia de los Muertos event.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item J is the 2014 proposed holidays, Judge Commissioners. It is the same as last year's, with one exception. There is an option for Columbus Day to be included.
We left it out last year.
Yes.
or this-
Yeah, and I think some of the offices have money coming in, the bank's closed that day, and we're open, I don't know, like the license plates office, the county clerk, and those offices, those departments have money to deposit, and so, I don't know, what do you recommend, Valde?
As a note, one of the things I noticed with my staff is kids are off school on Columbus Day, and staff is not, so it also creates an issue. And I know they have to have leave and stuff like that, but it's something you may want to consider as
Last
well.
year, we were involved in kind of doing a little trading to see what day we were going to be taking off in order to, I guess,
Yes, sir, I agree.
be a little bit more frugal
I agree.
with
No, and it's a
taxpayer
great idea.
dollars. And it was decided that the least inconvenient day was Columbus Day. So what do we have now? Do we have, with Columbus, would it be 10 or 11?
With Columbus, Judge, it would be
13.
Well, no, without Columbus, it's 14.
That would be higher than most of the counties in Texas. If I heard right from Virginia or somebody.
7, 8, 9.
The listing has 15 days, but there's December 31, 2012, and December 31, 2013 are included in there.
How many you got, Valde?
right. Well, for 2014, we
It's
have
only 14 without Columbus Day.
14 days. and that's without Columbus Day.
Wow, so you want to make it 15 and the average is 10.
Well, the August, okay, I've got some updated numbers with some of the counties that were mentioned these were adopted on August 15th. Travis County has 11, Bexar County has 12, Denton County has 12, Cameron 13, Galveston has 10, and so forth and so on. But yes, we would be over that average.
Judge, what is, can we wait on this?
Yes, we have time to wait on it, yes.
Well, why don't you go back and relook at the list and see what?
Yeah,
Which are the important days, you know, like,
All you have to do is go, I signed up for this so I can speak.
Yeah,
I
but you've
looked
already
up-
made your comments during.
But I signed up for this.
But you can't do both. You gotta
Well,
do one or the other.
sometimes you always say you don't let me answer you, so I'm here. I have them, I went on the computer last night.
Go ahead, we're not gonna, go ahead.
All right, I'm just saying, if you go, Bexar County has 9, Galveston has 9, Travis has 10. If you want to see them, you can have these. It shows the holidays they have. Harris County has 10, Tarrant County has 10. And if you look at them, there's some that have 9, there's some, one or two, one I think it's got more, but the average is coming at about 10 days. And we're the poorest county in the 254. Why would we do this?
That's fine.
Balde, can you confirm those?
I'll confirm those, and I'll bring this back at a later time.
yeah, and see what days are important and.
We want to be fair to the employees and to our taxpayers at the same time.
Because
And then
every
most
time-
of the major counties in Texas have 10 holidays. And
Because
ours
one
is
of
going
the
to
days is the
be
day after Easter,
either
we
14
the
or
only county
15.
I'll bring it back to
in
Judge.
the state that has that.
Because our main thing is that the county is not open so often whenever the public needs to get in there and pay. Thank you.
Well, the other thing is that it's not the whole county off. I mean, there are several
Oh,
departments.
no.
We're
No, this is
operational.
not, right. I do want to, that's very true, Commissioner.
I mean, it's
On these
important.
holidays, the county still operates. One of the largest departments is your law enforcement. Law enforcement operates 24/7.
That's not a good argument.
No, I'm saying what the
You know,
the
we
Commissioner
close the
said. that-
course, we close all these major.
Right, so,
I
but we
think
do
we have
have,
that-
Look into what the majority of the counties in Texas are doing.
right, okay. Okay, that's all I have, Judge,
All
Commissioners,
right,
with respect to
item
my
8,
items.
constables.
Precinct 2.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Constable Marty Cantu. Item 8A is approval of memorandum of understanding by and between the South Texas Refuge Complex, STRC, a management unit of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and agency of the Department of the Interior, and Constable Precinct 2 Law Enforcement Agency of Hidalgo County, Texas. What this is one, it has no fiscal impact on the county. There's absolutely no money involved in it. And all it is a joint law enforcement facility that the Fish and Wildlife has put together where we can go and exchange information. I believe DPS, Border Patrol, Fish and Wildlife is taking part in it.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
That's all I have.
Item 9, our human resources.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Under item 9A for the Sheriff's Department, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period of 11/4/2013 is to delete the clothing allowance for slots 58, 79, 82, and 121 of $500 and add the allowance to slots 23, 64, 137, and 188 of $500 and the approval of the revised salary schedule.
Move for approval 1 and 2.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10, our Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Richard Ozuna, Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County, on behalf
Morning,
of the
sir.
Sheriff, Guadalupe Trevino. Item 10A, just requesting under the Sheriff's Office OBSP grant, the 1284, is authorization and approval to accept an extension for the local border security program, which is the FY13, OBSP 13, with the new termination date 2/28/14.
Second.
Those in
Judge,
favor say aye.
Commissioners.
Aye.
Motion carries.
May I take a item
out of order, which is 12A, to present on behalf of the Emergency Management.
All right, sir.
12A is requesting consideration and authorization for Hidalgo County to execute the amendment to the interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and the Rio Grande Valley Communications Group for the purpose of increasing the number of radio units on the regional radio system from 100 to 2,500 radio units. We did this a couple of years back where we did the interlocal. We're nowhere near the 2,500. We're actually about maybe between 11 and 1,200. But we had a problem with the auditor's office actually approving the bills because it didn't speculate the number. So all we did was just an amendment to one day hopefully increase up to 2,500. And either that or we can do it by email or by writing on an increase if it were to get that high.
Problem with that.
No, I think this is going to alleviate the issue that we have.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Back to 11, Health Department.
Judge,
No
my
one here.
understanding is there's no action, no report at this time.
All right. No action on any part of 11?
11, okay, no action, the whole thing.
Okay, then move on to 13. Our HIDA Task Force.
Other?
Alde?
Valde, do you want to handle that one? Oh, Valde's not.
There you go.
Pursuant to local government code, they are seeking approval to declare as salvaged property for the purpose of destruction, including authority to remove the following detailed items from the Hidalgo County HIDA Task Force. And it's got a list of those items. Does anybody have any questions?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion is made and seconded to approve 13A indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 14, Urban County.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, ma'am.
Our first item on the agenda is a request to conduct a public hearing for Precinct 2.
This time, we would convene a public hearing to consider public comments for Hidalgo County Precinct 2's proposed budget and program amendment for fiscal years 2012, original work plan. Anyone here desiring to make a comment?
Judge, I'd like to advise the public that the proposed amendment will decrease the street improvement line item for Precinct 2. However, it will develop and create a public services general activity, allowing the precinct to purchase a fire protection trailer, which is also the educational trailer for the City of San Juan Fire Department, to promote fire safety in their community.
Any comments? If not, this time we'll close the public hearing. Let's proceed to 14A2.
Thank you, Judge. 2 is requesting the approval of this budget and program amendment for Precinct 2 using the 2012 funding. The amount will be deducted from street improvements and added to a public services activity.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is a request on behalf of Precinct 1 requesting the authority to purchase fire protection equipment for the Monte Alto Fire Department. The purchase will be made from Casco Industries, contract number 363-10, an approved vendor through Hidalgo County's membership and participation with the Buy Board. The amount of the purchase is $11,677.81.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is requesting the authorization to dispose of community development block grant records. This includes our emergency shelter funding, home funding, all our records for periods 1997 through 2008.
How many do we need to keep? How
I'm
many
sorry?
years do we need to?
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
How many years do we need to keep?
Oh, according to HUD, we're required to hold on to our records for 4 years after our last expenditure year. However, we normally try to keep them for 5 to 6 years.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Ma'am? Item 15, elections.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Item A, I'll wait till she passes those out, is the appointment of the early voting ballot board for this November 5th, 2013 constitutional amendment election. And also, may I read number 2 since they go together, Mr. Crane?
Why don't you take them one at a time?
Okay, so what this is a listing of 6 Democratic Party names and 6 Republican Party names, in which for a constitutional, which is considered a special election, Commissioners Court must select from this list. This list has been submitted from your party chairs in the list of their preference. So they are listed 1 through 6 in order of their preference. We have 653 applications that went out for ballot by mail, and we've since received 332. And we have very few provisionals that are out there. So we are needing 2 members for ballot board and 1 member for the central counting station from each party.
So we select as a court?
I'm sorry?
We're selecting as a court,
Yes,
right?
sir. You
For 3
select-
slots in the Democratic?
2 ballot board from Democrats, 2 ballot boards from Republican, and then 1 central counting station from each party as
okay.
well. I'm sorry, we're doing number 1, which is the ballot board,
And
so
you
2
want
members.
us to do the selection?
I'm sorry, sir?
You want us to do the selection?
Yes, sir.
or
For a constitutional,
The party doesn't recommend?
these are the recommendations in order of preference.
We picked 3 out of the 6.
Yes, sir. You pick 2 for ballot board from the Democrats and 2 for ballot board from the Republicans.
Peter Salinas. I would recommend Peter Salinas, number 5, be a member of the ballot board.
Okay?
Mr. Cora, do you have anybody there?
Go ahead.
No idea who the other people
Ken Mazda, you know anybody else there?
are. I have no information as to their
Who have you worked with
experience.
before that you can?
We have actually worked with all of them because during a constitutional, we need less, but during a primary, for example, we would have them submit 20 names, and from those 20, we'll pick 12 and 12. And usually it's the county election board that selects for a primary and a general, but for a constitutional, it's Commissioners Court. We've worked with all of them, and this is their order of preference, so you know what each of the chair is recommending.
Oh, that makes it easier. So they rank these then already?
They are ranked, yes, sir, in order of their preference.
Judge, you just want to go to number 1 ranked?
That'll
After
be
Peter?
fine.
Number one?
Whoever you guys want to select, I'll go along
Peter
with.
Salinas and which?
Go to the number 1 ranked.
Number 1? Okay.
Number 1?
Okay, and for Republican?
How many, you need 3, no? How many we got? 2.
Right now, 2 for ballot board, and then we'll
The Central
read
County and the other.
Okay.
number 2. For Republican?
You already got 3?
Oh, I know Terry Allison really well. That's 1.
Terry Allison? Terry Allison, Commissioner?
You Fern?
Yes.
And Fern? Okay.
For the ballot? Terry?
Okay, so they will now approve these, Mr. Crane?
Correct.
Okay, I will read for the Democratic Party. You have selected Peter Salinas and Kenna Griffin. For the Republican Party, it is Fern McClarty and Terry Allison.
That's all you need?
We need approval of that.
For November.
So move.
Hey, what about the central county station?
Yes, now we're
They're
going
not
to read
allowed
that.
for March. We're going to do something else for March. They're going to come
Yes,
back.
sir, it will be different for March, or more
This
names
is
for
only
March.
for the one that's going on right now. All right, need a motion and a second to approve those 4 names?
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, we need 1 appointment of the Central Counting Station for the November 5th, 2013 constitutional amendment election. Again, from the same list, we are needing 1 person from each party.
And it cannot be the same person
No,
listed
sir.
on the prior item? Okay.
Well, the number 2 is Alonso Maron, and number 1 is Melissa Beal.
Yes.
So
So
number 2, for the Democratic Party is Aaron Alonso, and number 1, Melissa Beal for the Republican.
Yes.
Move for approval?
Need a motion to?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And if I may just give you an update that, on how early voting is going, may I do that? We have surpassed 7,300 votes for early voting. Compared to the 09 and 11 Constitution, they were under 3,000 each. So the local elections, of course, are driving our voters to go out, but we hope and invite each and every one of them to be sure to vote early through this Friday, November 1st, with Election Day on this Tuesday, November 5th. I'd also like to tell you that the mobile units, compared to the state of Texas, from the DPS and the Secretary of State's office, we issued out 7 election identification certificates, and that is record throughout the state. We also were able to register over 30 people, and over almost 200 people stopped at these mobile units and inquired as to the EIC and am I registered, because I also send members of my staff. So they were very productive and very successful. I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item 16, our Head Start.
Good morning.
Morning, Ms. Flores.
We have several items. The first one is discussion and approval of the administrative plan. The administrative plan delineates the procedures having to do with how we deliver services through the 10 management systems that are proposed by the Office of Head Start, and it does need your approval.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item is the approval of the 2013 Community Needs Assessment, and this is a comprehensive assessment done every 3 years, and it identifies the areas in the community by which we're able to then develop our application and work towards a strategic plan and then the program planning for the program funding.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is discussion and approval for the Hidalgo County Head Start Program to exercise option to extend for an additional 2-year term on the lease agreements for land under the same terms and conditions with the following private entities: Daniel Garza Granjeno, San Martin de Porros at Western Road, those 2 entities.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, discussion approval for Hidalgo County Head Start Program to exercise option to extend for an additional 1-year/and/or 2-year term on the interlocal agreement for land and/or building under the same terms and conditions with the following entities: governmental municipalities, housing authorities, public schools. The 1 year, we have the McAllen Housing Authority and the City of Westlaco. The 2-year, we have the City of Alamo, its land, the City of Alton, land, the City of Donna, land, Ed Couch Elsa ISD, it's a building, Edinburgh Housing, it's a building, Edinburgh Housing, it's a building, and the City of Elsa. Administration recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, presentation for discussion and consideration and approval of a 2-year interlocal agreement for the lease of premises between the City of Mission and the Hidalgo County Head Start Program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
F, discussion, approval, and appointment of
You
the
need
one
to
community
appoint
member. This
somebody,
one is no action taken at this point.
No action.
Yes,
Put it on next week.
yes, sir. That's, we'll get the agenda on. And that's the end of the request. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Our Planning Department.
That's seen.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Roll Tide.
Wow.
Real quick,
There you
first
go.
item on the agenda is preliminary approval of Cielo Lindo subdivision precinct 1. This is preliminary approval of 32 lots subdivision. It is located in the ETJ of Alamo and has been approved by the city. It's also gone through our various county departments and our advisory board, and it is being recommended for approval, as well as my
Move for
office. Future comments before final.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
The second item is a 1-lot subdivision, RSBR DG San Carlos, precinct 4. This is located in 107, just west of Valverde, and it's again for preliminary, and it's in the rural area of the county. We just have one comment, just to make sure that they're compliant with the TxDOT access requirement. That we did get some comments back from TxDOT. We're approving it subject to those comments, and any other comments from my office regarding drainage for that area. Aside from that, it has been recommended for preliminary approval by the advisory board and my office with that comment of compliance with TxDOT accessibility.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Final approval of Pinto Water Tower subdivision. It's just a one-lot subdivision, precinct 3. It's a commercial for a water tower. Everything's in order for the final approval. It has been recommended approval by advisory board as well, in my
Move for
office.
approval.
Check.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Josue subdivision is a two-lot, single-family subdivision in the rural area of the county. Everything has been complied with regarding the water, sewer, and all departments have signed off on it, and it's being recommended for final by the advisory board and my office as well.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Final approval of financial guarantee, Loma Verde number 3 subdivision, precinct 4 development. They've already constructed all the improvements, and the escrow amount of $10,262.45 has been deposited with the county. Everything's in order for the proposed improvements, or for the proposed approval of Loma Verde number 3 with the financial guarantee. We are recommending approval and the advisory board as well.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Reimbursement financial guarantee, Flamingo Ranches subdivision precinct 4, they are requesting a drawdown of $4,500 for their septic tank, which leaves a balance of $9,000. We do have the letter from health. Everything's in order for that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have all the A through E complied with the requirements?
Yes, they have, Judge, they sure have. We've done the inspections, the health department's done their inspections, the OSSF. These are all financial guarantee releases on the SSF, and everything's in order for those approval, Judge.
Move for approval for A
B
through E.
to E.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Sir, item 18, precinct 2.
Morning, Judge. Raul Salguero, Precinct 2, representing Commissioner Tito Palacios. Item 18A1 is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for revenues received from the city of FAR for the Minnesota Road project.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 2 is approval of the appropriation of funds into Precinct 2 maintenance, road maintenance in the amount of $50,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
18B1, Tower Road, this is approval of certification of revenues certified by the county auditor for proceeds from the sale of assets to Magic Valley Electric Co-op related to the Cesar Chavez Drainage Project.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And B2 is approval of the 2013 appropriation of funds into the Precinct 2 Tower Road project in the amount of $81,165.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Item 19, precinct 3. Mr. Varela, good morning, sir.
Bingo.
Yes, good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item number 19, on A, we're not taking any action.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I'm talking about this one.
Which one?
This one.
Okay.
19A.
Request approval on interlocal agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of McAllen, the City of Palmhurst, and the City of Alton.
Move for
Is
approval.
that the
He
one?
wants, no,
I thought you said
I'm
no
gonna
action on
ask
that
on
one, right?
C. He wants action on A.
Oh, A, okay. We have an issue with funding on 19A.
Oh, I stand corrected. No action on A.
All right.
No action on A?
Right,
Okay, then B.
okay. And,
B.
okay, no action on A. B, requesting approval to rename a road name Circle 6 Street E to continue as Rancho Brazil Road for an additional 735 feet until it ends at Circle 6 North and Mile 5.5 Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay,
And on item C, I'm announcing that no action is necessary because we're going to, with concurrence through the auditing department,
No
we are
action.
going to be doing a purchase order increase, and we don't need action on this.
Artie, is there any way you can notify departments to make sure that it's done the way that you need it
That we
done?
suggested, yes. I think that they were reacting to something instead of knowing that there was a solution. Yes, sir. I will advise them. Thank you. You have item D.
But D and
Any?
E,
19D.
item D, approval of 2013 interdepartmental transfer. We're going to transfer some money here, Judge, from TechStat US 83 Illumination, TechStat SH 495 Abram in the amount of $340.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the same thing in item E, we're transferring some money from TxStat to FM 681 to TxStat FM 2221 in the amount of $5,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Item 20, budget.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 20A is presentation and approval of the plan of finance for the refunding of certain outstanding bonds for Hidalgo County. This will rescind the action taken 2 weeks ago on the presentation made by Estrada Hinojosa. I have representative from First Southwest, Mr. Chris Vela and Andre Ayala, to make the presentation on the new plan of finance for the refunding.
Sergio, is it possible to attach the plan to the agenda?
Just right here.
Members of the court, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Vela. With me here also is Andre Ayala with First Southwest. We have been apprised by your staff that a refunding presentation had been made, and we have been asked to review and present our views on the numbers as financial advisors to the county. We will be looking at the analysis of your outstanding debt. We'll give you a municipal market update, which is always critical to these types of transactions, and we will also update you on the refunding analysis.
This amount does not include the drainage district bonds, right?
No, sir, not at all. Strictly general obligation bonds for Hidalgo County. The County of Hidalgo currently has about $162 million in limited tax bonds that are outstanding. All of the principal limited tax debt is secured by a limited interest and sinking fund ad valorem tax pledge on all the property located within the county. Your average life is about 7.579 years, and the nominal term is 17 years, or the remaining term on all of your outstanding debt. There are two bond series, the 09C and the 210B, which were sold as Build America bonds with a 35% interest payment subsidy from the federal government, which as of fiscal 214 is expected to be around 92.8 or 32.48% subsidy of what was originally expected as a result of sequestration. The next slide is a cumulative slide of all of the debt that is outstanding and that has been analyzed by First Southwest Company. You will notice on the far right-hand column, it's got the tax-exempt advance refundable and the percentages that are allowable and which are not allowable. On the next page is the analysis, is a little pie chart that basically has your red, which is your callable 100% tax-exempt advance refundable, and callable in the purple, and 0% tax-exempt advance refundable. What that means is that a great majority or percentage of your debt had already been refunded, and the only way to do the purple or the deep blue would be with a taxable series. The next page is a rating graph that shows, that depicts all of the ratings from the different rating agencies. You have Moody's and Fitch. Outlined in blue are the current ratings for the county, where you have Moody's at a AA2 and Fitch and S&P at a AA minus. Those are very good ratings on the part of the county. The next slide.
AA minus?
Yes, sir.
What did the RMA get?
I'm not familiar with their rating yet.
Richard was there.
I think they've made a rating presentation from what I was able to garner from the news, and they may be waiting for a rating. I don't know if they've gotten it yet. The next page shows your actual debt, the principal in the dark and the interest in the yellow. And this is a very good slide to see where in 215, you will see a slight increase in your total debt service payments by approximately $150,000. And then you can see the drop after 15, which your staff had been referring to in trying to analyze some of your long-range plans and trying to layer in some additional debt at that time. The next slide is the municipal market update summary, and this is very important that we understand what the market is doing, because obviously refundings have a lot to do with interest rates and some other factors, including time and par amount remaining. But you can see that from May the 1st of 2013 to September the 5th, tax-exempt rates increased as follows. On the 1 to 10-year scale, 75 to 100 basis points. You will recall that I was here at another meeting during the summer, and I spoke about the interest rates having gone up. This is what I was talking about. On the 10 to 20, approximately 125 to 150, and then 20 to 30, 150 to 170 basis points from where we were at. You will recall that in March, when we sold the drainage district bonds, which have an identical rating as you do, we had a 2.8% AIC, or all-inclusive cost for the district at that time. And you're going to see what has happened to interest rates here directly. In the first half of, on September the 5th to September the 30th, the market recaptured approximately 1/3 of what it had lost. In other words, rates came down. In the first half of October, the market saw up and downs, which what our traders call a trading range, which basically up and down, and they wind up at very little. The second half of October 13 has seen a downward pressure of interest rates despite increase in municipal bond supply. So interest rates have actually come down some in the last couple of weeks. During the week of 10/21, the municipal tax-exempt market not only outperformed the taxable, but yields were down 7 to 15, what I was talking about, across the yield curve, despite an $8 billion plus primary calendar. Remember that in our normal course of business, we normally see 6 to 7. When you get into the 8 to 10 billion per week, that's a very heavy market, or visible supply, as they call it. And one other thing that I want you to keep in mind is that a lot of participants have left the market as a result of some of the things that have been going on at the national level. So municipal bond outflows and limited supply of municipal bonds continue to be an important factor in the market. Andre will get back to that slide as he discusses the actual transaction for you. The next slide is the bond buyers index. And here you can see on the on the box that the current rate is a 456, the average was a 494, the maximum was a 706, and the minimum was a 327 on December the 12th of on December the 7th of 12. Tax-exempt municipal interest rates remained under historical averages despite the net increase. Of course, federal policy, municipal bond funds, net outflows, and credit concerns have contributed to the recent movements in interest rates. And in September to October, interest rates have recovered some of the lost ground, showing declines of around 4 to 50 basis points. The next slide is your municipal market update, which is the municipal market data sheet, which is an index. And if you start with your purple, that is a year ago at 10/25/12, and it shows you where interest rates were at. The green one is April of 13. It shows you where they were at. And then the red and the blue are September and October. So you can see the changes and what has happened to interest rates here in this particular term. The next page is an interesting slide because it kind of depicts on an average bond sales per month, and you can see that the blue is the new money, the red is refundings, and the green is combined. You can see that the new money has declined as we go into fiscal 11, 12, and 13, while the refundings have increased as a result of declining interest rates, and with some new money and refunding combination as well. In the next slide It's the average par amount, that means on the, whatever the amount that was sold, and you can pretty much see the same slide, but the market is down in terms of the total amount of sales. I will now turn it over to Andre, who will discuss the bond refunding analysis.
Good morning, gentlemen. Andre Ayala, First Southwest Financial Advisor to Hidalgo County. I'm going to talk about the analysis we performed, which is an independent analysis on the refunding opportunities for this county. We looked at all your bonds over here, and as you can see, the red ones, 2002 through 2006, are the ones that are potential candidates for refinancing purposes, the ones that could potentially yield savings for you. So we looked at 2002 series. That could be taken out on a tax-exempt basis at 100%. The outstanding par amount of that is $2 million as of this time. You can see the interest rates range from 1.2% to 4.20%. 2004, the outstanding par amount is about $6 million, about the same interest rates. Those go up to 5%. The final maturity is 19, and those can also be advance refunded on a tax-exempt basis. 2005, that is a bond that was previously advance refunded. So if you want to do that, you would have to do that on a taxable basis, meaning higher cost of funds. 2006 is another possibility. The outstanding amount is $31 million, rates from 4 to 5%, but the call date is until 2016, meaning that you have to fund an irrevocable escrow from the date you sell the refunding bonds until August of 2016. Well, what are the assumptions that we used? Based on a plan of finance put together by your senior underwriter, Estrada Hinojosa, they had mentioned that they are proposing a delivery date of December 18, 2013. We, doing an independent analysis, we are assuming level debt service saving structure. Those would be finalized after discussing CAP plans with your staff. But for these purposes, we're just assuming a simple plain vanilla refinancing. There's no extension of the original maturity whatsoever. This is a very stringent analysis. We're doing a maturity by maturity analysis, and all the maturities that would be advance refunded need to yield at least 3% PV savings. The cost of issuance and underwriting fees are just assumptions as of yesterday, October 28th of 2013. And important to note, the tax-exempt refunding that we're assuming over here is a non-bank qualified, and that is because in your audit, your Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1 shows us a component unit of this county. Therefore, you cannot sell bank qualified bonds if that is true. That is correct, Chris. Thank you for reminding me that. That is a question that you need to ask Mr. Ramirez to opine on that, whether the Hidalgo County number 1 is a blended unit and you can sell bank qualified bonds in fiscal 2013, in calendar 2013, apologize. Now, this is the analysis we performed. There's 3 components of this refunding. There is a current refunding on a tax-exempt basis, meaning that your escrow has a life of less than 90 days. There is an advance refunding component on a tax-exempt basis, meaning that your escrow has a life over 90 days. And then there is a taxable component because those bonds were previously advance refunded on a tax-exempt basis. I'm going to start with the tax-exempt, the simple one. The refunded par amount that works efficiently for you is only one maturity, which is about $1 million, maturity 2015 of 2002. The prior coupon on that is 4.2%. Based on our independent analysis, we believe that the all-in cost, including fixed costs, financing costs, legal fees, et cetera, would be about 2.05%, which would yield savings of about $34,000. On a PV basis, once you factor in rounding amounts, et cetera, we're coming up with $36,000 on a present value basis, and or 3.47% of the previously issued bonds. Industry standards say 3% is about what most issuers do around the country. The negative arbitrage, we're going to get into that concept shortly, would be 0, meaning that this refunding is 100% efficient because you can call it on any date. The advance tax exempt, in this case, the story is a little different. The prior average coupon is 4.16. We are coming up with a refunding of 2 maturities, 2016 and 2019, about $2.3 million of bonds. We're estimating gross debt service savings of about $120,000. If you present value those at the estimated all-in cost, we end up with $111,000 or 4.73%, still a good refunding. Your your gross level debt service savings are about $23,000. Now, this refunding is a little unique, and the average between 15 and 19 is $23,000. Some maturities, some years would yield negative savings, some years positive savings. If you average that out, it's $23,000 between 15 and 19. Your negative arbitrage, because you have a over 90-day escrow, is $21,000, which represents 19% of your savings, meaning that your refunding is only 84% efficient, not 100% like the current tax exempt. Now let's go to the taxable. Here we analyze all your maturities that could potentially be refunded. We picked up 2017 to 2021. The prior coupon on this one, which is a tax-exempt coupon, is 5%. We estimate the all-in cost on a taxable basis to be 2.74%, which would yield gross savings of $1,045,000. If you present value that number at the estimated all-in cost, we end up with $951,000 or 3.66% of the prior debt issue, which is still above industry standards. However, there is a negative arbitrage or opportunity cost that you're leaving on the table of about $1.1 million, which represents 116% of your savings, meaning that this refunding is only 46% efficient. If you compare that to the advanced tax exempt, the current tax exempt, that's a very different story. Now, what are other considerations you need to take into account under this plan of finance? Well, the 2002 is currently callable at any time. There's no negative arbitrage implications. There's no really interest rate sensitivities because you can call that at any time. 2004, that is callable in August of 2014. We have an opportunity cost of about 19%, which is, it's not bad. I've seen issuers on that, execute under 25% for the most part. This advanced refunding is 84% efficient. And if you were to run a sensitivity analysis and say, okay, what if I wait until the current call? Well, the market sensitivity on this refunding is 0.14% or 14 basis points if you were to wait between December of 2013 and April of 2014. You would achieve the same amount of savings despite the fact that rates could go up 14 basis points. This could be issued as bank qualified in 2014 if the county will not issue more than $10 million in 2014. 2005, this is callable in August of 2015. This is advance refundable, but on a taxable basis. The negative arbitrage, as I mentioned below, is 116%, well above 100% of your savings. Your taxable, again, taxable refunding is 46% efficient. If you were to ask me, what is my sensitivity on a tax-exempt basis, meaning that you can wait until the current call, which is in May of 2015, assuming we price this bond issue in April of 2015, that means that your sensitivity is 162 basis points. What does all this mean? Let's say we wait until 2015 and we do this on a tax-exempt basis and rates go up across the yield curve 50 basis points. Your gross savings would be $2,385,000 versus $1,045,000. Your gross average annual debt service savings between 16 and 21 would be approximately $400,000 versus $156,000. And your present value savings would be $2,157,000 or 8.3% of the prior bond issue. Now, what is this whole negative arbitrage concept? I'm going to go back to this slide, and let's talk about this taxable one. As you can see, your present value savings here are $951,000, and your negative arbitrage is $1.1 million, meaning that if the refunding were 100% efficient, your savings would be $2,061,000. But since it is only 46% efficient, you can only get $951,000. It is a business decision that the elected officials must take, whether they want to pursue this refunding or not. Now, talking about the refundings, again, current refunding, your escrow is less than 90 days. Advanced refunding, more than 90 days. Simple definition of negative arbitrage would be opportunity cost, also known as savings left on the table because someone chooses to execute a transaction at a given time. Now, what is the plan that we propose right now is that we would propose a monthly update to your staff so that your staff can come and communicate that to you, see what the interest rate market is doing, what the savings are, and what the negative arbitrage is every month. Currently, as of yesterday, we have a financing team, First Southwest, McAllen, San Antonio, Ms. Amberger, who couldn't make it today, and myself in Dallas. Bond counsel, we have Mr. Chu Ramirez from Ramirez and Guerrero. We have your senior underwriter, Estrada Hinojosa, out of Dallas, Texas. We're going to talk about recommending underwriting co-managers for this transaction for a very important reason. Your underwriter's counsel, who's your underwriter's choice, is Locke Lord out of Dallas, Texas. And your paying agent, escrow agent, who you have a relationship with, is the Bank of New York Mellon out of Dallas. Now, who has provided proposals to this county? Stevens, Stifel Nicholas, Comerica Securities, and Estrada Hinojosa. It is my knowledge that Stevens has provided monthly updates, and Stifel Nicholas, I believe, at least quarterly updates. Our independent analysis of the market right now shows that an optimal transaction of this nature would at least require 2 bond firms to market these bonds to have better market distribution. The top 5 underwriters in Texas right now are Samco Capital Markets. They have done 129 senior managed issues. Average size of their deals is very small. It's $4.4 million. BOSC Incorporated, 125 issues. The average size is $12.72 million. RBC Capital Markets, 113 for an average size of $16 million. First Southwest, 109, average size of $10 million. Raymond James, 98, average size of $20 million. What about county? City, 8 issues, about 34.8. Raymond James, 6 issues, almost $8 million. Estrada and First Southwest, 3 issues each. Estrada, 21 million. First Southwest at an average of 44. BOSC and Loop with 2 issues each. Now, why is it important to have more than one co-manager? Than one underwriter, I apologize. Look at that chart where it shows the market participants leaving the market. If you look at that red line, the longest one, that's Detroit's bankruptcy. And there's credit concerns in the market, there's interest rate risk, the market isn't certain. Market participants don't know what the Fed is going to do in the near future. Therefore, to achieve better market distribution, we propose at least 2 underwriters. This is the schedule of events as of right now. On October 14th, this court appointed Estrada Hinojosa as a senior underwriter. I believe documents have been circulated. Chris and I would propose only 2 ratings. Now, why 2 ratings? We don't need 3 ratings for a transaction of this size. Plus, Moody's has us AA2 and Fitch a AA- with a positive outlook. Therefore, it's beneficial for marketing of this transaction. The pricing of this bond issue, as of right now, would occur on November 18th. We would bring that to you the next day, which is a Tuesday, November 19th, and closing, as scheduled right now, would occur on December 18th. But again, we propose more of a parameters concept coming to the court on a monthly basis, showing you what's happening, and then make a decision.
Andrew, who selects the paying agent?
The paying agent typically it's appointed by the staff for the most part. And the reason is that you get bids, maybe every 3 or 4 years.
Staff mean First Southwest staff or county staff?
No, First Southwest does not impose anybody. We would show you the bids if you wanted to go that route, and then show you who the lowest cost is and better service.
Are you saying the paying agent normally is recommended by the county staff?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you already have someone listed here, and I'm assuming, I guess.
That was proposed by your senior underwriter.
So,
and the county has a relationship with them.
our total debt then is 162 million, approximately.
Say that again, sir?
Our debt is 162 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to refinance, and your presentation is aimed at just one bond issuance or more?
3.
Are you recommending that we refinance some others?
No, we performed an analysis, and based on our analysis, we picked maturities that yield more than 3% present value savings.
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Can you raise the microphone?
We performed an independent analysis on a maturity-by-maturity basis on all your outstanding bonds.
So we're 6 located, no, 4, excuse me.
The ones that are, candidates, just that jump out at you, 2002 through 2006. 2002, there's only 1 maturity that makes sense, 2015. In 2004, there's only 2 maturities that make sense because that's an advance refunding. 2005, maturity 17 through 21 makes sense because it yields more than 3% PV savings. 2006 does not yield PV savings above 3% on any maturity at all.
So which is the one that we're going to be refinancing?
The proposal right now is 2002, 4, and 5.
So it's a total of $77 million that we're looking at refinancing?
No, it's, if you go to page 18, on the current tax exempt, that'll be Series 2002 is $1,055,000. Series 2004, it's maturity 16 and 19, which total $2,365,000. Series 2005, maturity 17 through 21, $25,980,000.
About 29 and a half, more or less. About $29.5 million?
About 29.
The grand total of all those three?
Yes.
So your recommendation is that we refinance these issuances?
Our recommendation would be to monitor the market, sir.
It's what?
Monitor the market. Because you have a tremendous negative arbitrage. You have a tremendous opportunity cost, and the market sensitivity is rather large. It's 162 basis points.
Plain English.
In plain.
No basis points, no nada. What can the county expect in the way of savings, dollar amount?
If we do it today on the 2005 refunded debt, we would end up saving roughly about $1 million. However, if we wait till they become callable, we would be able to save $2 million on that transaction.
If we wait till when?
If we wait till 2015, I believe.
That's
We would be able to
assuming-
save on that. We would be able to save $2 million. And basically, the sensitivity is that interest rates can rise up to 163 basis points from now, and we would still have that savings. So we have that buffer. However, if interest rates go up exponentially within the next 6 months to a year, it could be that we could be priced out at that point as well.
What are you
So there's-
assuming will happen in order to save $2 million? That the interest rates will stay the same or go up?
That they would not go up more than 163 basis points. Is that correct, Andre?
That is correct, Sergio.
What-
Rates can go up, let's say 100
Okay,
basis
What
points.
does that mean in interest?
1%.
1.6%.
1.5%. Rates can go up 1.5%, and we would still be able to save the $2 million. If we wait, as opposed if we do it right now, we would only be saving the 965, basically about $1 million.
Another important consideration, Court, is, let's go to this chart. If you look at the short-term rates on page 11 of your handout, short-term rates move less than long-term rates because those are, the Federal Reserve can control those easier than long-term rates.
So you're suggesting we wait to 2015?
I'm not suggesting that, sir. I'm suggesting monitoring the market on a monthly basis.
And then making a call then, whether we want to save.
Monitor the market, determine what the rates do on a monthly basis, and then depending on what the market does.
Are we going to be able to act that quickly if things start changing?
Yes, you have the advantage that you meet every week.
What's the time frame of refinancing some of these old bonds? The time frame, like, let's say we make a decision today, how much time?
To execute the transaction?
Yeah.
Right now, we could execute that transaction before the end of the year. Refundings are easier because the bonds have already been approved as new money bonds, so the refunding is just a reissuance of the bonds.
Basically, we would still proceed in getting the ratings and everything else. We would just wait as far as on the sale of the bonds.
Well, we would have to time the ratings. Let's say we monitor the market and we see that there's a big spike in 2 weeks. Then we would immediately engage the rating agencies. They can give us a rating within 10 days, and we can execute the transaction.
So wait till the season either favors or gets worse and then act then.
They're going to watch it every month?
Just.
It cambia, pues I guess.
What is the plan you want us to approve today?
Basically, I believe the plan would be to monitor these issuances that we're looking as far as refunding, and whenever it becomes either more favorable, we will bring those back to the court.
There's no such thing as saving $1 million now, and if the interest rates go up to by no more than 1.5, we'll save $1 million in 2015? I mean, do we have a choice, or do we have to only do it, we can only do it one time?
The refunding of the bonds, I believe we can only refund them once. I believe, is that
because we're doing it at a taxable basis?
What happens is that, for example, this is the bulk of the refunding as it is right now. The 2005 was previously advance refunded on a tax-exempt basis, meaning that you cannot refund that again on a tax-exempt basis. Tax-exempt rates are lower than taxable rates for obvious reasons. Therefore, if you want to execute an advance refunding of that transaction, you have to do it on a taxable basis, which means higher cost of funds. Now, this becomes currently callable as early as May of 2015. If you execute before, let's say, we close a transaction on December
Knowing
4th.
what you know, what do you recommend?
Hmm?
Knowing what you know in financing, what do you recommend we do?
Monitoring the transaction, we would provide monthly reports to your staff. They will communicate those to you.
Are there any other questions? Sergio, lay out what it is that you're recommending so we can put it in the form of a motion either way.
The motion would be for us to monitor these refundings and bring back to the court at a future time authorizations to do the rating call and to do the sale of this refunding whenever they become more feasible. Also, one of the things that we would want to do is to basically strengthen up our capital improvement plan. If we do have a need to save the $1 million now, as opposed to, and we can't afford to wait the 2 years to save additional monies, then that might be something that we might have to look at. If there's a compelling need to issue these refunding now to be able to save and add capacity to our debt service, that by waiting a couple of weeks, it'll give us the time to be able to bring back to the court a capital improvement plan and look at all the capital improvement projects that are needed for the next 4 or 5 years. And that way the court will be able to make a better decision as far as whether we need to do this refunding now or whether we can wait.
That's a long motion.
I guess the short of it would be for us to monitor these issuances and be able to come back and report to the court as soon as it becomes more feasible for the county and to present these savings. Basically just wait and monitor the market.
Gentlemen, what do you desire?
I would recommend that we just wait and monitor the market and see.
Yeah, we can always bring it back up.
Yes, we can always bring it back on.
So they're recommending they'd be giving us a quarterly status or monthly status of.
A monthly status or
Okay.
bi-monthly,
Then make it
yes,
call.
every 2 weeks or on a monthly basis. And if needed, we can place an item. If something volatile happens, we can come back in the following week.
All right. I need a motion to, along the lines of what was recommended by our budget officer, or?
So move.
Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Item 20B, we're requesting no action. We'll bring that item back in a couple of weeks. Item 20C is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for proceeds from the Raymond Rill Drain project sale to the Drainage District and appropriation of those funds in the total amount of $1,495,000. These are for Precinct 1 road projects.
Move for approval of C1, is it A and B? Yes.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Purchasing, 21.
Yes, Martha Salazar, purchasing 21A1, requesting approval to exercise the option to terminate under paragraph 1.4 as stated in the current agreement with Patriot Bank for the lease of office space to the Urban County program, as they'll be moving soon to their new location.
What bank is Patriot Bank?
It's out of Houston.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the responsible vendor as detailed in the tabulation sheet contained herein, submitting the lowest and best bid, meeting all specifications. We had 8 packets requested, 2 bids were received. The low bidder, which we're recommending, and the recommendations from the user departments is Cemex. We need approval.
Number 2.
On 2, yes.
You know what, we didn't do
This is on concrete mix and delivery services.
skipped it.
The recommended low bidder is Cemex.
So
So move.
lowest bidder was who?
Cemex, S-C-E-M-E-X.
They were the lowest bid?
They're like $2 difference per ton, but yes, they are the lowest and responsible bidder.
was the
We had
second?
8 packets requested, only 2 bids were received.
What was the second?
Kappa, C-A-P-A, and they were a little higher. Cemex is also not going to charge us on the percentage of fuel. In other words, their bid reflects they will not be asking for increases attributable to fuel increases.
Okay.
If
Any-
there's a
any
lowest,
other
there's a
questions?
lowest, so,
Lowest
But
responsible.
we're recommending.
yeah. Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Marty, excuse me, Sergio, did we do item 20B?
No, I requested no action on that.
Oh, requested no action, okay.
Yes, sir.
And-
Going on to,
And C1? Oh, yeah, we took those together.
C1 and 2.
We took them.
Okay.
Okay,
moving on
thank
to
you.
21A3, this is acceptance and approval of an interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and the Drainage District Number 1 for the purchase of a tract of land further described in the Exhibit A, owned by the Drainage District. And this is to complete a transaction that is pending for the county, as they own a part of that tract. And as we discussed earlier today in the Drainage District, it will be funded through an emergency transfer through the budget office.
So we need to do this to seal the deal, to close the deal.
It's to complete that transaction. I
That's
know
the-
that they had 2 concerns. One, that there was no legal's approval. Well, legal drafted the agreement. They do point out a typo. My response to them was that before it's executed, the typo will be correct, and the executed agreement will be
How are you gonna fund it, Sergio, you said?
through an emergency transfer.
It'd be an emergency transfer from the countywide, from general fund?
So you're gonna make a transfer?
Correct.
Okay, because right now there's no funding in place. So
Correct.
you're gonna
That's correct.
transfer so we can pay a check?
Move for approval.
Need a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B1, Precinct 1, presentation of the bids received is detailed and attached herein for the lowest bidder. There were 9 packets, 3 bids were received, and this is for aggregate limestone grade. For Precinct 1, this is RGV Aggregate Incorporated.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
With that award, there's item B pursuant to Exhibit A specifications, the vendor, Rio Grande Valley Aggregate, to allow the subcontracting of Southwest Star Transport for the delivery of same.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3, this is an issue that I had discussed with the court. We're currently awaiting the draft agreements with ASG. In the meantime, this is services that were rendered, and this is for monitoring services with ASG and Precinct 1. It's 2 items, 2650 and 2665.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3, this is the purchase of 2 new 2014 CAT Model CT 660, which is being purchased through the National Joint Powers Alliance Co-op. The awarded vendor is Holt, and the contract is named. It's $302,126.36.
Move for approval?
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
C1, Precinct 2, requesting acceptance and approval of Work Authorization 3 with an estimated cost of $1,033,645 for TEDSI infrastructure for Dicker Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
D, for Precinct 4-1, is requesting approval of an on-call professional engineering services agreement with Dos Logistics. This is road and bridge, CIP, and other projects in general located within Hidalgo County Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is requesting approval of on-call professional surveying services with Dos Land Surveying, and this is for projects within Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval of on-call professional services agreement with Harvey L. Hirsching DBA HLH Appraisal Services for the purpose of review appraisal services for those projects.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, this is for constables requesting approval of agreement to award for computer-assisted investigative online research services with West and Thomson Reuters Business for Hidalgo County. This will be effective January 1st of 2014.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item is for Sheriff's Office. It's requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A7, an item that can only be obtained from one source.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And this is B, requesting approval of a sole source declaration for Smith's Detection, including authority to utilize their services on an as-needed basis to purchase parts, components, annual inspections, certifications, repair, and maintenance services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next one is also exemption from competitive bidding under 262-024A for an item that can be obtained only from one source.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Requesting approval of a sole source declaration for Safety Vision, including authority to utilize their services on an as-needed basis for the repair of Hidalgo County Safety Vision equipment.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next one is for Elections Department. This is presentation of bids received for the purpose of award and approval of contract to the bidder meeting all specifications and/or requirements as attached here too for the request for bids, printing of massive mail-out and voter registration certifications for the Elections Department. We had 23 packets requested. 4 bids were submitted. Only 2 could be considered. Because of the 4 bids received, only 2 submitted the samples, which they were requested to do. And the low bidder and recommended and concurred by purchasing is Information Management Solutions out of San Antonio.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, that's all I have.
We're going to make it?
At this point, pursuant to our 551071 and 072 of the Texas Government Code, need a motion to proceed
So moved.
to executive session.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's 11:20, we'll be in executive session.
11:50.
And mine says 20. All right, we're back in open session. Mr. Guerra?
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Under open session, real estate, there's no action at this time. Under Open session 23B, pending and/or potential litigation, there is no action. Item 23C, Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the claim of Adam Tucker in the amount of $200.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23D, open session. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the claim of AT&T in the amount of $1,101.42.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
23E, Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the claim of John F. Martinez in the amount of $937.51.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those
61?
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
$937.51. Item F, C-066413-I, Iris Judith Serna, Rogelio Castillo Saldana versus County of Hidalgo. Judge Commissioners, for disclosure purposes, I'd like to let the court know that we have a mediation scheduled for tomorrow. As always, if there's any type of tentative agreement for tomorrow, it's always subject to Commissioners' Court approval, and I'll have an update for next week and all appropriate action if there is some tentative arrangement after tomorrow. Item 23G, C-6392-13-I, San Juanita Saldana et al. Versus Hidalgo County and Hidalgo County Elections Administrator. Judge Commissioners, I'd like to refer back to item 7A1 and 2. 7A1, I'm requesting exemption from the competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262024A4, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
And item 7A2, requesting engagement with the firm of Preston Henriksen for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement specifically to C-6392-13I, San Juanita Saldana et al. Versus Hidalgo County and Hidalgo County Elections Administrator.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23H, under open session, there is no action under potential land acquisition, Donna Bridge. Item 23I, potential litigation, electric service provider Reliant Sales Agreement. Again, there is no action. Item 23J, economic development negotiations, project domain, continue as discussed. And Judge Commissioners, that's all we have for.
Did you do the real estate deal?
That's for next week.
That's for next
Right,
week?
that's for next week. We'll have the appropriate
Okay.
open session, but.
Perfect.
And there's no need to go back into close or open session.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.